about 7 o'clock on the button.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meeting will please come to order. We're going to cover tonight a proposal that we have received from Northern Dutchess Paramedics. 2 years ago, as most people know, we received a notice from the fire company that no longer would they be able to provide EMS service for the town. We therefore went out and looked for a provider and chose Northern Dutchess Paramedics, NDP, to provide our ambulance service. It was on a one-year contract with renewable for the second year at a cost of $180,000 per year. The contract time has come due for next year, and we have been seeking the best way to provide ambulance service for the future. As part of our due diligence, we've looked around at various different other vendors to see what the best way might be to proceed. In that process, we've kind of narrowed down the field here, largely due to the costs that we've encountered with other vendors. It seems to be pretty much a standard for the industry to provide for a town of our size 24-hour ambulatory service with the call volume that we have here, somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 plus per year. We also looked at the possibility of possible EMS staffing from staffing agencies. What we found there was basically that there was, with the cost of what it would be to staff of staffing for the town, adding on the cost of the ambulance itself, insurance, and all the equipment that goes with it, as well as providing administrative help to organize the paramedics and the EMS service here. The cost would actually exceed the $500,000 that we were originally offered. We had close to a month ago now, a little less than a month ago, we had a quarterly meeting with NDP. And at that meeting, Ed Murray, President and CEO for NDP, and Mark Brown, Vice President and Director of Operations, were there and explained to us a little different picture of what the cost might be. We were quoted, we asked them for some hard figures on paper so that we would know exactly where we were headed, and we have received those in the form of a proposal. The costs that we were quoted were actually better than what we had originally expected, and they have returned a proposal to us including those costs. And under that proposal, in the first year of the contract, that is for next year, 2017, ambulance service would increase from the current level of $180,000 to $260,000 per year, an increase of $80,000. In the second year of the contract for 2018, the cost would be an additional $50,000 per year, bringing the total to $310,000. In the third year, 2019, the cost would be $340,000, or an increase of $30,000. Obviously, this is not something that we necessarily look on with the greatest of favor, but it is currently the best proposal that we have. And that heading forward here, since we are under time constraints, it does look to be the best proposal that we're going to receive from any of the vendors that we've contacted. Under the proposal, the billing will be the same as what it has been. The time frame, the 15 minutes, will be the same. Most of the other requirements will remain the same as what they have been under our current proposal. We're not certainly happy with the thought of an increase in taxes, especially with the economic burdens and the economic times that we're going through. We just don't see that there is a viable alternative here to this proposal, or something that we would be able to institute on such a short-range notice. So I think there's not too much we can do about, at least for the next year, possibly two. There is, as some may know, the county has instituted a task force to look into the issues that are facing almost all municipalities in the area. The results of this will not be in for a while yet, and certainly by the time we get the results in, there's no way we would be able to institute any possible changes that they may offer us. So our solution right now is, this is probably the best we're going to do. We need to proceed with it. We don't know of any really excellent alternatives, and that's where we are. And that's about it. Unless somebody else on the board has questions, or any questions from the audience, or anything to add?
No, I agree with George. I mean, this is a lot better than what we were anticipating. It still is based on their business model of ambulance service within the area. And as George said, I think it's, hopefully the task force comes up with some good alternatives, especially for small towns like ours. But until they do, then we still need to provide the service. And it's a hot potato that was dumped in our lap, but we're taking care of it.
We're trying to deal with it. Yes.
I agree.
Anybody else? Dave?
Just a question, George, regarding the pricing phasing that you're talking about. I didn't know whether, like, with your first 2 years of service, you had the option to renew with a certain price. Whether that's what's being offered to you in this case, or whether you have to sign up for a 3-year deal.
No. The proposal itself is renewable on an annual basis. Also, it can be canceled with 60 days prior notice before the end of the contract.
Thank you. It's important to know.
Yes, it is. Anything else? Well, I guess that really concludes our meeting.
We will be dealing with this at the next town board meeting.
We're going to, I will leave the hearing on this open, until the next town board meeting, and if there are any comments at that time. But I would hope that we might be able to agree to pass, agree on the contract. I'm having Warren draw it up now,
Right.
and hopefully we'll be able to pass that at that meeting, that town board meeting.
Okay.
We only have a limited time under this proposal under which we can do this. So it's not something that we can kind of fool around with here.
Yeah, so I agree that I think this is this proposal, especially for the year one, is the best we're gonna get for 2017.
When you take a look at what the other options are out there and what the costs of the other options are, while this is not the most desirable program that we can sign on to, I don't think we have any choice in the matter at this point.
Especially if any innovative new types of new ideas are down the pike, they're not even conceptualized yet.
Well, and that's the whole thing. At least this contract here gives us breathing room to be able to take a look and see if there are any other options, long-range options that we may need to take a look at. So we'll have to see. If there's nothing more, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Jim Campbell makes the motion.
Second.
John Midwood seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.